Hello, and welcome to Cuckles Reviews, I guess. It's not Cuckles Plays, because that's where I actually play the games. This is Cuckles Reviews, where I'm not actually limiting myself to only reviewing games, but reviewing a multitude of subjects. Movies, games, comics, maybe. It depends. It's just my general review show where I talk about shit that I like. If you want to know the basic premise, since this is gonna be the first episode of this review show, I am basically just going to talk, and then I'm going to edit it down so it sounds kind of coherent, and it takes out a lot of me just sitting here thinking, which I will do lots of while I'm talking about this and rambling on. Hopefully, these videos are quick and not too long, because honestly, I don't think I could talk that long about something. But yes, it's my review show where I'm going to review things and review games and review movies. And like my stipulations for reviewing games and movies is for the movie I have to have, watched it all the way through. And for games I will have to have beaten the main story. Not so much every single side quest, because some games have a fuck ton of side quests. But the main game and, the main part of it. And to start off this episode is really the game that got me thinking, I really want to talk about this game. Because I liked it a whole bunch. And it's actually a game that I did a Cuckles Play series on that I stopped recording for because reasons. But today's game is Tomb Raider. I really want to talk about Tomb Raider. Now, Tomb Raider is a third-person action-adventure game. Think the Uncharted games, there's the older Tomb Raider games, and it's like a third-person action-adventure where you, as the character, run and you have this whole situation. And I mentioned the old Tomb Raider games, and this is the reboot version. I don't know when it came out, but it was a couple years ago, so it's not exactly new or relevant, but it's a game that I played this year and I really liked and I really wanted to talk about. So starting off, Tomb Raider is a game about a young Lara Croft who is going on an expedition thing with a film crew guy and her friend. And, they're going to search ruins, and they're just, archaeologist type guys that go around searching for things and, researching and giving the history and yada 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 yada. Kind of basic setup. Kind of think Indiana Jones, but at least in this universe, there's nothing special about anything. They're just kind of regular paleontologist, archaeologist type people. So they end up getting caught in this horrible storm around this one island, and their ship breaks in half and sinks. And this is all within the first cutscene, which is about 5-7 minutes long. And Laura is all alone, separated from the rest of the crew, and she finds herself in this cave and has to escape. And a whole bunch of shit goes on. Lots of injuries. Laura in this game gets beat up. Stabbed through the stomach, stabbed through the leg, beaten, thrown around, just absolutely fucked up. But she makes it through and survives because she's Lara Croft and she's the player character, so that's, kind of implied. And throughout the adventure, she has to deal with, these mercenary guys that are on the island, and she's trying to figure out what the hell's up with this island, because, from the outset, this island is really, there's something strange going on here that is not normal, which you find out later through the game has to do with kind of supernatural elements that really... It really works as the origin story of the Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider that, everybody hypes up through the old games. And since it's a reboot, they don't want to start with, oh, Lara Croft is already awesome or already good. They, build up a very workable origin story, and by adding this supernatural element, it really gives Laura, by the end of the game, the drive to want to continue doing this and searching and looking for more tombs. Because at the beginning of the game, she's kind of like, I look at tombs. Oh, it's all kind of academic research. I don't really get my hands dirty doing this kind of stuff. But like over the course of the game, she first of all becomes a badass of just being able to take out dudes and eliminate threats and, solve mysteries and puzzles and stuff. Which, that's kind of one of the negative things about this game. Like, if you like the old Tomb Raider games for their puzzles and really creative, different types of puzzles, it's not as much in this game. I mean, there are still puzzles and, like, thought puzzles that, like, require, okay, use this item with this to cause this reaction, or like kind of action-y puzzles like pull this so you can jump on that to jump on that in the time allotted or whatever. But if you're looking for like really hard, I gotta rack my brain puzzles, nah, they're all decently easy to figure out as long as you've been paying attention. To that respect, it's fine. I mean, I wasn't personally looking for a lot of mind-racking puzzles. I was just looking for a solid game, and that is what I found there almost immediately. Because the gameplay, it's the third-person kind of like shooter gameplay. It kind of tricks you at first, because you kind of think it's like, oh, am I going to do a lot of hand-to-hand combat in this? And no, not really. You want to be as far away from these enemies as possible. You want to either be shooting them with your bow or shooting them with a gun. Because if they're getting close to you, that means you're probably losing the fight. Even though later in the game you do unlock a lot of like close combat finishers if they do get close to you. Melee combat is not a focus of this game. Actually, to just be able to swing the pickaxe that you get or whatever at enemies is an unlockable skill that you unlock later. It is not, melee combat is not a focus, and it's not a thing they recommend you doing in this game, though it is viable if you really want to later when you unlock the perk. So in the game there are 4 main weapon types, and the first one and the best and the one that is kind of made this game really popular is the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow is not only useful for killing enemies and like one-shot headshotting them silently and effectively, but it's also like a utility tool. You use it to create grapple lines to connect to different locations so you can zip line over and climb ropes. Or you have fire arrows, which you can use to set off explosives from a long distance. And then the last unlockable thing is explosive arrows, which do exactly that. You shoot them in a thing and they blow up. Which is insanely helpful against people. Especially later in the game when they become a lot harder and wearing a shit ton of armor. Boom! Explosive arrow. Blow them up. They're dead. It's fun. There's also the pistol, which you can level up. It does pistol-type things. It has a burst fire mode, and it's okay. It does what it does. It can get headshots. There's the assault rifle, which is an assault rifle. Nothing too special there. The special thing it gets is a grenade launcher, which is helpful, obviously. And then the final one's a shotgun. And the shotgun, it can shoot fire bullets. Because, why not? It can shoot fire bullets. And it's a shotgun. I mean, the weapons aren't entirely special. Like, the only special weapon that you don't normally get in other games is the bow. Just because they're not special doesn't mean they're not effective. I mean, they're really good weapons. Paring it down to just 4 different weapons that you have on you, pretty much once you get it, you have it constantly. I think there's like one part in the game where they take away all of your weapons for a little bit, and you have nothing, and this is like in the middle of the game randomly, and you get them back, but there's just a period where you don't have weapons, but it's, set up that way, so eh. This game looks amazing. It looks really good. I play it like I play most of these games on my PC, and my PC, thank goodness, was able to run it at the highest settings possible, and it looks great. They had this big thing about the TressFX hair physics or whatever that makes your hair, because Laura has long hair and it like flows around realistically and physically. Realistically, I mean, it's not perfect, and there was a real weird kind of disconnect for me where like, oh, the hair is moving on its own, and then you get in these cutscenes and the hair is moving on its own, but it's like every single strand of hair was casting a shadow on somebody's face, on her face, and it was kind of ridiculous looking. It's like, I don't think every single hair strand cast shadows that dark. Like, there were dark shadows for single strands of hair, and it was really weird. But overall, that TressFX thing, it looks great. It's awesome. If your computer can run it, I recommend setting it to that setting, because it's nice to see. It doesn't look bad or jarring, and it looks really good. And other than that, the rest of the game looks really good. It's really beautiful. It has several moments where it just like, you walk to this location and you're just staring at a beautiful portrait of like a mountaintop temple or ruins or just nature itself in this game, and it looks really good and it's really nice. And it really holds up. The character models, especially Laura herself, because over the course of the game, if you played the Batman games, how over the course of the night, and when you complete different missions and objectives, like Batman gets all battle scarred and he's like a thing here, and like his cape's all getting raggy. That basically is the same thing that happens to Laura in this game, where she starts off in a pretty generic kind of like gray tank top and cargo pants or whatever, and over the course of the game, that tank top gets fucked up. The cargo pants have several cuts and things, and you see Laura has bandages over at different parts of the game. Like when she puts on a bandage to her hand, it'll stay there for the rest of the game, or on her leg, or other places. And it's cool. It really brings you in. It's like, oh man. And like Laura's getting like dirty as mud and blood and shit covering her face and arms and stuff over the course of the game as she's doing more things and getting deeper and deeper into the story and mystery. It was a solid experience. At least 10 hours, probably more if you want to go and search for all the collectibles in the game, which there are a lot. And they do the collectibles in this game good and bad. I'm one of those people that goes nuts for collectibles. I will look for collectibles and collect collectibles to done. I will look up guides and just go checkmark, collected, because I'm psychotic. I like collectibles, and this game does them good and bad. Good in that most of the collectibles, like, there are these GPS things, these relics, these books and notes and journals left by other people, and those are all the good collectibles because those get marked on your map. Like when you use your detective vision, it's called like in survival instinct sense or whatever. It basically turns the world black and white, and all important shit gets highlighted in yellow. When you use that and you're looking for collectibles, if it's one of the GPS relics or whatever, if they're just in the general area, they'll be marked on the overhead map when you press the map button, and you can see it's like, oh, the GPS thing is here, and you can go over there and collect it. It has another form of collectible which is unique to each location you go to in the game, because it's like, this is a location, and then it's not open world. It's got like arena kind of areas of locations. And each location has a unique collectible that's utterly unique to this. It's like shooting these totems or destroying banners of something. Those aren't marked on the overhead map when you search for them, and you have to look for them in game, and you're spamming your survival instinct and looking for the yellow glowing thing that's like, that's the thing. You gotta run over and do it. At least with those collectibles, there's a lot less of them per area. It's like, I think the most had like 10 to 15 of one thing in one area. And those aren't terrible. I mean, if you really get frustrated, there are excellent guides on the internet because the game's been out for a while to just find them. Other than that, the survival and progression system is awesome. Every weapon has like upgradables. Every weapon has an upgrade. Like you can upgrade the bows, different things, and you upgrade the pistol, you upgrade the assault rifle, you upgrade the shotgun, all with different things. The thing that makes those a little unique is it rewards exploring in the world. Because the more you explore, you'll find like weapon parts. And it's like, weapon parts 1 of 3, what does that mean? It's like when you find 3 of those weapon parts, your weapon upgrades. Like suddenly your shotgun is not this like dinky little pump action boom shotgun. It's kind of like, okay, now it's upgraded to a semi-automatic shotgun. It's like, oh, awesome. And then when you upgrade it to a semi-automatic, it gets new upgrades that you can purchase with the salvage currency, which salvage currency is given to you for like just opening crates or doing random things or even killing animals somehow. I guess you use the bones of animals as mechanical gears and cogs. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Although that is kind of a negative thing. They have this whole killing animals sub-feature that they give you a full tutorial on. Like hunting deer and stuff. And it's pointless? I mean, yeah, it gets you salvage, but it's not, you don't need it at any point in the game. You can just ignore it and continue doing the story, and you will never had to kill another animal the rest of the game. Like, it's there if you want to go and grind salvage to try and get an upgrade, but that can easily be done by just looking for these salvage chests or whatever that are scattered around the world that you can easily go burp and unlock and get like 50, 80 salvage, maybe more, depending on what you get. And I don't know, it just, like, they made a whole big deal about, it's like, now you have the bow, now hunt that deer. Hunting deer is important, and there are a lot of skills in the in Laura's upgrades trees for survival and whatever. It's like, you kill the animal, you get more salvage from it, or you can pick more berries off of the bush or whatever. And it's like, none of that's useful. Like, why would I put my money there, my limited skill points that you get when you level up? Why would I put my skill points into that when I could do the thing that increases my gun damage so I don't die? I mean, like, there are like 3 or 4 skills, so it's not terribly a lot, but like, those were the last skills I upgraded, and I only upgraded them because they were the last ones, and I mean, I had the point, might as well, but it's not like it helped at all. Overall, and final thoughts, I think Tomb Raider's an excellent game. It looks good, it plays good, the story is solid. Like, me playing, I never cared too much about Tomb Raider beforehand. I mean, the only Tomb Raider thing I ever played is on a PlayStation 1 demo disc. Back when I was 10, I played half of a level from Tomb Raider 1 off of a demo disc. And all I remember doing in that demo was jumping around and shooting a wall. I mean, it's not like it was the most mind-blowing thing that I ever did. But this Tomb Raider game, it's excellent. I mean, it sets up the character of Lara Croft very well. It really, really is a solid experience that I liked much, much more than the Counterpart series, or the, like, you know, what the obvious opposition series that you would think of is Uncharted. This may be a review for a later date. I hated Uncharted. I find it very confusing that Uncharted got so popular with the gameplay problems and flaws that the Uncharted 1 had, that I even extended into Uncharted 2. That is a review for a different thing. And even if you do like Uncharted, Tomb Raider's great. It's good. It's a better Uncharted, but it's a good game. So, yeah, my review of Tomb Raider, it's good. Pick it up. Especially on Steam, with the Steam sales, it's worth... Even at its markdown price, it's worth it. Get the definitive edition, get all the DLC. The one part of Tomb Raider that I didn't review, and I'm probably not going to touch, is the multiplayer, because I think the multiplayer is dead now anyway. But I don't think it was ever really that great of a thing anyway. And the single player is strong enough to buy this game. Period. So, yeah, that's my overall thing. Tomb Raider is good. Pick it up. It's, yeah. So, that has been me in my still unnamed review show. I don't want to call it Cuckles Reviews, because that's just dumb. But, yeah. If you enjoyed this review, please, leave a comment. Tell me your opinions if you played Tomb Raider. I would love to hear it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could go with the whole spiel of subscribe and like it, and though, you know, just, you know, I hope I entertained you. I hope my rambling made sense, and I hope that you pick up Tomb Raider, because it's a really good game. We'll see what other reviews I get to later as I continue this malarkey.